Hey, today I wanted to make a video about frame, social frame in a social interaction, or whatever makes that frame solid or weak. And that frame, the term frame, comes from, I get that term from the pickup days. It was thrown around. You have low frame if you get thrown off easily, and you have strong frame when you can actually, when people get sucked into your whatever you believe is true. Like, if you feel awesome, people get sucked into that. If you feel terrible, people also get sucked into that. If your frame is strong, if you're weak, people, I mean, if the frame is weak, people will go the other way. I mean, will be unaffected. So yeah, it's a little, but it can really mean just being congruent. You know, people want to test your frame too, and day-to-day life, in all kinds of situations. If they don't trust you, if they don't know you, they want to see if you're full of shit, if you really walk the talk, if you really want to be where you are, if you really mean what you do, if you're there with them, if you're present. They want to check in on your intention. So I was really insecure about my frame. Whenever I had an opinion, I just uttered my opinion. I didn't speak my opinion. So I barely made it through without saying maybe in the end, like finishing my opinion with maybe, just to take the pressure off. Or say, or something, or like to put the pressure, anything that would like make it less risky for the other person to dislike or disagree. And this came from a fear of being rejected, like universally getting rejected by whatever, like whatever is out there, and all the angels fearing that they will put me into a corner of the universe in a dark place where I would never get out ever again. You know, that's why, that's the fear of rejection. If we really go deep down the rabbit hole. So my solution to this, the reason why I haven't felt that problem over the past, like less and less I feel that problem of that, my frame being too weak. I'm a softie by nature, so this is why I'm so interested in this, because it has bothered me. I've been in situations where I've been grilled. I felt like I've been grilled alive, and completely been pushed around in my younger days. It stopped happening when I stopped following my ego. And also, you know, as you grow, you will learn what actions of yours are based in ego and what is based in, you know, your calling or purpose, your true intuition, and you know, let's say your DNA. So as I'm getting older, I'm realizing more and more what I really am, and I integrate that in my outer world. If you have an inner experience, you will try to match your outer experience with what you have inside. So over the years, the past couple of years, I've been more and more realized on a spiritual level. Like, what do I really want? I have less conflicting desires. So let's say an example. A few years ago, I was into pickup. Nothing wrong with being into pickup, but I was going to the club, hitting on 30 girls a night, and also I wasn't that hardcore really. I wasn't that hardcore, but I had this. Whenever I didn't take action, whenever I didn't go out to approach random women, either in clubs or in daytime, if a woman walked by, if a girl walked by, and I let her go, I would feel guilty, or like I would get angry at myself for not doing anything about it. And then I met a few very influential people, like the whole group really, with Shogo Garcia, Morton, and my good friend Luke lived with him. We all like had this, we kind of developed that way of, Show would like to use the term going with the flow of life, with the flow of nature. You know, instead of climbing and swimming up the river, you will be swimming with the river, and then also get to see all, like everything will go so much faster. You will see and explore more, while if you're climbing up the river, you'll kind of just stand at the same place. It will go much slower and it will feel much more stressful. So I realized that it was much better to go with the flow. Like I've been like this, there's this guilt-driven voice inside of you that tells you that you can't do what you want to do. Because when we're young, there's no rule, there's no structure, so whenever you do what you want, you know, it scares the parents because they lose control over you, and you know, there are good things about this, of course. But as you grow older, you don't have that dependence on your parents anymore, hopefully. So you can allow yourself to do more and still be alive, still survive, still thrive. So when meeting these people and also bonding and hanging out with them, I adapted that kind of mindset, and I started going with the flow of life and do things I wanted. I stopped putting so much pressure on myself, and I rather trusted that in the end, long term, I would end up at a really cool place, because it will be totally incongruent with who I am and my DNA. And also, that what happens then when you're congruent, in alignment with your DNA, your true nature, depending on how scientific or how spiritual you want to be when using those terms. The more you are in alignment, the less you will get thrown off. The less people will test you. The more they trust you. They can see it in your eyes, your facial expression, even your voice, your body language. You'll just ooze this kind of confidence about it, this congruent. It'll look like you. And they will get a sense that there's no need to question this being here. He obviously has this presence, or she has this presence that, yeah, I don't need to fuck with this. The second thing is that they don't have to, it's harder to also push you over the edge to their frame of reality, their belief systems. You will also take opinions less seriously. You will appreciate people, the people behind them. You will see also their true selves. And you also pick up more bullshit. Your bullshit radar will increase as well. And all of this results in just less of that battle between who has the biggest frame. You will just walk through the world, and you'll end up where you end up. And whenever you come across people, let's say women, if you're a guy, then they will really feel that you really want to be there. So you're fully present, and they will sense that you really are there with them. So it's much easier to connect with the individual, because there's nothing off about it. It's completely natural. So she won't test you, because she can already feel that masculine presence. So she doesn't need to test it to feel it, because it's already there. You're rooted in your own truth. In summary, when you go with the flow of life, you know, you don't have to defend your frame that much. Less and less. Here's the other side of it. Let's say you go with the flow. You have learned to go with the flow. You do the things you want. Hopefully you still keep track of bills and the structure in life. Yeah, on a structural level, you will have to, you need some kind of control. And you need skills in order to be, you know, successful in life. In order to live happily in the dual world, you have to master both duality and you know, the higher perspective than what we can call non-duality. Non-duality, in which going with the nature and the flow. But it's useful to have skills, and what I'm going to get into now is communication skills. Let's say you go with the flow, you have been doing what you want, which is to play computer games, or perhaps it is coding. You've been sitting inside with your computer all day for business or pleasure, perhaps. It doesn't really matter, but you haven't spoken to anybody in days. And then so when you come across an individual that you want to connect with, you're there at the party, whatever it is, salsa party perhaps, and you get to talk to a person that you find interesting. And it's hard for you to even talk and communicate. And so it's more difficult for you to actually prove that you are this, or to express that you are this self-realized individual who are going with the flow of the universe. So communication skills are important. Also in order to do something, in order to succeed, to accomplish goals, which is also important for your happiness, to work on something. This is a journey after all, this a journey of existence. Things will happen, and hopefully you will make things happen too. Then you need skills. And these skills, they have to be practiced. At least on some level, they have to be practiced. You can go with the flow and still develop your skills. If there's any path I would pick, all right, the natural way or the structural way, I would go the natural way, because you will get challenges that will force you to think about, to be aware, to be alert. And that'll also challenge your brain to get your shit together. So if there's a path I would choose, it would definitely be the natural flow. But sometimes you will be challenged and will feel like, oh, this is not natural. I'm being challenged here with something I have to do, something I have to think about, and have to step out of the zone again and go into my head. And do things, control things, which might seem unnatural, but it's still natural because you're designed for this. You're a programmed robot, okay. Human being, okay, not robot, but yeah. So there will be times when you are challenged in these skills, and that they're useful. They're useful. So we shouldn't reject the structural path of life, or the necessary part of life that is just a part of duality. It's also just like in my old days of pickup, when you were thinking about body language, and also thinking about am I speaking clearly, am I being loud enough. Those are skills that you shouldn't completely reject, even though you're on the path of flowing through life. And I'll give you some cues. This is some notes that I've made for myself. Okay. Finish your opinions. Notice that whenever you feel like taking the pressure off yourself, off the opinion, and you finish the sentence with maybe, or I don't know, when it's not really clear what you're saying, just think about it, be aware of it, and so that you can improve. Push yourself a little bit every day to state your opinions and what you believe in. This is something I have to do myself, because I actually didn't think opinions mattered and beliefs mattered, and sometimes I have this arrogance about this, that no beliefs are true. Just like the further down the rabbit hole you go, the less opinions and beliefs matter. But if you're up here again and you want to live your life, there are things you have to take in account, like certain skill sets, and you got to have a belief in order for something to happen. And something needs to happen, otherwise you'll be bored and nothing will happen in your life, and you'll be uninteresting and perhaps uninterested and indifferent to what's going on into your life, and then you might get fat and sick, and then die and have an unpleasant experience of life. So yeah, communication skills are important so that you can actually express yourself, so that your frame will be as strong as you feel like it is inside, as it really is inside. So in that way, it's useful to train your communication tools, such as your vocal instruments in your body. Are you speaking with your body? And whenever you take the pressure off your opinion, then just notice that and try to reduce that habit. And also, when you state something, then give reasons why. We need reasons to change opinions. So if you believe something you think is true, and your purpose is to persuade the other person because you want them well, then you need to give reasons for why you think so. Because they will also wonder, why does he think that way? And that will also improve your relationship with the person, because then they know. So communication is very important. Communication with yourself, but also to others. So there's an internal dialogue. So there's an internal frame going with the flow, like being yourself. There's a communication between you and yourself, and also you and others. Hope you liked this video. Also remember that the social anxiety stripped down formula is available. You can click it in the description, and then you will find a sales page with what the program is about, who it is for, what it can do for you, and also how to get it. Thank you for watching and tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.